Hello everyone, welcome to the Psychology Applied channel, and in this video we will be talking about 10 psychological facts that will blow your mind. Now, let's get straight into it. Fact number 1. You remember remembering. Do you remember that telephone game where people take turns whispering a message into the ear of the person next to them? By the time the last person speaks it out loud, the message has been changed very much. It's been slightly altered with each retelling. Recent studies show that it turns out your memory is a lot like that telephone game. Every time you remember some event from your past, your brain networks change in ways that can alter the later recall of the event. Thus, every next time you remember it, you will probably recall, not the original event, but what you remembered the previous time. That means that a memory is not simply traveling back to the original event in your mind, but it's actually like an image somewhat distorted because of the prior times you remembered it. It is important to note that your memory of a specific event can grow less and less precise, even to the point of being totally false with each retrieval. These findings are especially important for witnesses giving testimony in criminal trials, because a witness can remember something very accurately the first time he testifies, because his memories aren't that distorted. After that, each time they testify and try to remember that event, it will only be less accurate. Fact number 2. Men spend over a year in their life by simply staring at women. Researchers revealed that men stare at up to 10 different women every day, spending an average of 43 minutes per day looking at them. That adds up to 259 hours, almost 11 days, each year, making it a total 11 months and 11 days between the ages of 18 and 50. Women, on the other hand, stare at up to 6 different men for 20 minutes a day, which equals for around 6 months of their lives. Men are known for looking at women, but it's amazing to see just how long they spend doing it. A year of your life is a long time. But, some people could argue that it's a time well spent. The research also revealed supermarkets were the favorite location for men, followed by pubs and nightclubs. Women listed bars as their top spot for eyeing attractive men. The majority of both genders said they were flattered by the attention. But, men enjoyed it more, and 20% of women were slightly embarrassed. It's interesting to add that 1 in 10 people admitted that staring at the opposite gender had caused a split with their partner. Fact number 3. Happiness is contagious. A scientific study found that when one person becomes happy, the effect can spread up to 3 degrees in that person's social network, reaching friends of friends. Researchers that conducted that study say that this is the evidence that because our lives are interconnected, so too is our emotional health. This happens through a process known as social contagion, meaning moods can spread from one person to the next. On top of that, a different research shows that moods can even be changed or affected by emotional expressions of friends on your social networks. This way you know that your moods can affect the moods of the people around you. And also, you know that the moods of those around you are influencing how you feel. If you keep that in mind, you'll not only realize that you can have a bigger impact on your social network, family and coworkers than you might have previously imagined, but you can also plan to avoid those people who are in a bad mood to keep them away from ruining your good one. Fact number 4. There's actually a name for a fear of losing your smartphone. It's called nomophobia. The term nomophobia is used to describe a psychological condition when people have a fear of being detached from mobile phone connectivity. Nomophobia is also called the disease of the 21st century. It is a disorder suffered by over the half of the population. It occurs because of the dependence on these devices. If the person cannot access his or her smartphone, they feel cut off from the outside world, which generates a feeling of anxiety. The studies show that some 94% of people worry about losing their device, with some 74% saying they panicked when they lost a phone in the past. Around 14% described their state as desperate, and 7% as sick. But surprisingly, the main reason for that wasn't a worry about the loss of personal details. It was in fact the cost, hassle and inconvenience of replacing it. Fact number 5. Talking to yourself actually makes you smarter. Several studies revealed that self-talk is one of the healthiest exercises for the human brain. It is amazing that something which is commonly linked with being crazy is very sane, and should be a part of our lives on a daily basis. According to the researchers, when you talk to yourself, whether out loud or in the mind, it improves your attention span, allowing you to concentrate better despite distractions. It also affects your decision-making capabilities positively. There are two different forms of self-talk that benefit you the most. Number 1 is instructional self-talk, which is when you tell yourself each step you need to take in order to complete something while in the process, like driving a car. Number 2 is thought and action self-talk, which is a self-talk that is centered around setting a goal for yourself to achieve and a strategy as to how to accomplish that goal before taking action. Before we continue on the number 6, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Fact number 6. Singing reduces stress. Singing is a proven way to relieve stress. A scientific study carried out in 2017 measured the amount of cortisol, the stress hormone, in participants' saliva before and after they sang. Researchers then discovered that the amount of cortisol was lower after singing, which is an indication that people felt more relaxed after they sang a song. It is also important to note that singing reduces stress levels whether you are singing alone or in a group of people. But, singing reduces stress only if you're singing in a place that doesn't make you anxious or uncomfortable. A similar study from 2015 tested cortisol levels after a singing performance, discovering that cortisol levels went up in this case. So, if you're feeling stressed out lately, make sure to sing your favorite song in the car or in the shower. Fact number 7. Mind wandering is more common than we think, and it isn't always a bad thing. According to psychologists, your mind is wandering at least 30% of the time when you are doing your normal day-to-day activities, and in some cases, for example, when washing the dishes, it might be as high as 70%. Mind wandering is just a natural state of human brain at rest. When your mind is wandering, your brain shows activity in several cortical regions, that are the same regions which are active when your brain is at rest. These areas are always operating in the background. Mind wandering also allows one part of the brain to focus on the task at hand, and another part of the brain to keep a different task in your mind. It is said that mind wandering might be the closest thing we have to multitasking. Humans cannot multitask, but mind wandering allows you to switch focus from one idea to another and vice versa very quickly. Fact number 8. Most of your decisions are made subconsciously. Do you think about the decisions you make, considering all the options and calculating the result of each outcome? You probably think you are, but you're wrong. The majority of your decisions are made in your subconscious mind because otherwise, your conscious mind would be overwhelmed with information and you would probably get mentally stuck. Many processes in the brain occur automatically and without involvement of our consciousness. This prevents our mind from being overloaded by simple routine tasks. The reason for this is that your brain receives over 11 million bits of information every second, and there's simply not enough brainpower to go through all of it consciously. Contrary to what most of us believe, decision-making is handled to a large extent by unconscious mental activity. Scientists have unraveled that an outcome of a decision can be predicted from unconscious activity in the brain, even several seconds before we consciously make that decision. Fact number 9. The Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect, also known as Mount Stupid, is named after David Dunning and Justin Kruger for their seminal paper of 1999. This effect occurs when people fail to adequately assess their level of competence, or specifically, their incompetence, at a task and thus consider themselves much more competent than everyone else. This lack of awareness is attributed to their lower level of competence, which robs them of the ability to critically analyze their performance, leading to a significant overestimation of themselves. In simple words, people who are too ignorant to know how ignorant they are. This effect is also the reason why students who fail on exams sometimes feel that they deserved a much higher score. They overestimate their own knowledge, and are incapable of seeing how bad is their performance. Fact number 10. Publicly announcing your goals makes you less likely to achieve them. It is a common belief that publicly announcing your goals increases the chances of realizing those goals. When you tell everyone what you want to do, you then feel pressured to follow through on your goal, or you otherwise let everyone down. At least, that's what most of the people believe. Now, let's see why publicly announcing your goals is a bad thing to do. The researchers have found that telling people what you want to achieve creates a premature feeling of completeness. For example, let's say you write down your goals that you want to achieve in this year. Of course that there is a gap between where you are now and where you want to be once the year ends. This then creates a compelling need to close this gap, which then makes us act on our intentions. But, it's been discovered that when you let other people know about your goals, The gap closes because you artificially feel the same way as you would after completing your goals. So, the next time you want to complete a goal, make sure you put your head down and get to work, instead of telling everyone around you. Thank you for watching Psychology Applied, and make sure to subscribe, so you are notified when we upload new videos.